1-time PCL winner, 19-time LEC finalist, 17-time LEC winner, 1-time first stand finalist, 8 times Worlds attendee, 2 times Worlds finalist, 7 times MSI attendee, 1 MSI final, 1 MSI title, 1 MSI MVP, and now a Hall of Legends inductee. Congratulations, G2 Caps. It's finally happened. So finally, we've got the third inductee in the Hall of Legends. He's a European. I think if there was going to be a Western one next, it was obviously going to be Caps. There was nobody else really that it could be. Just guys, what are your immediate reactions to the news?
I'm so happy it's him, honestly. Like I guess like it was kind of known at this point that if we had to go for the Western GOAT, it would have been him. So I'm not really that surprised, but I'm actually still surprised that they decided to go for it.
Yeah, we can. I think we could do it
so early.
Yeah, I think there's debate to be had about Caps, not about not the fact that whether he deserves to be in it or not. Eventually, he definitely does. There is debate to be had about whether now is the right time or should he have been the third person. Maybe we'll get to that after. We'll do the more downer stuff later on. Maybe let's just celebrate Caps a bit first. Yeah, definitely deserves to be in there at some point. And I asked you guys for your favorite Caps memories as well. Say it it makes it sound like he's died or something, but actually it's a very nice thing. Favorite Caps memories so far, because surely there's more to come. So let's maybe have a look at some of our favorite moments from his legendary career so far. Oh, this is the most obvious one, right? So this is the first one you said, Davide. I had this in mind as well. I'm guessing you can hear my screen if I start playing. I hope you can anyway.
No, we have to go Corky.
Play it not too loud. But of course, the first one being the Vayne pick. And this was, I think this is a good one. If to kind of remember back to how Caps was early on, because it feels so long ago now. The Claps versus Caps. You know, he would come and troll half his games, but then just be the best player in the world in the other half. And I think this was the game that definitely represented that better than any other. The famous Vayne pick, where he gets kind of the game-winning kill onto Han Summer, and he got when you think back on it, he was lucky as fuck, right? They were losing this game, and Han Summer just jumps right into Vayne in front of a wall. So maybe a bit jammy, but yeah, definitely was a great representation of what those early stage of Caps was like, because he's almost doing I know he's always been the baby faker, but he's always done the faker thing of having 2 phases to his career as well. Is it weird seeing him back then? If in a Fnatic jersey as well, is that not so strange to see Caps wearing a Fnatic shirt?
For me, it's very weird, I must say. It's been so long.
Yeah.
Because I started watching LoL Esports back in season 3 and 4. So it's you come to realize that Caps was there. I think it was season 7, season 8, and we're now season 16, and you're like, oh shit, it's been 8 years ago or something like that, and then just look back at it and just learn to appreciate the rise of Caps. There was a time where Fnatic was doing pretty well at international tournaments. I remember, for example, one of my just in terms of how successful Fnatic was, or some of the highlight reels. Febden killing Faker, I think, in the 1v1 on Zed at 0 in season 5 and stuff like this. So Fnatic not only had Reckless, but they also now had a really proper good mid laner at the time, and it was okay, now it's Fnatic and G2 both showing up on the international stage, and then yeah, G2 just decided to say, yeah, no, you're not going to get Caps anymore. We'll get it, and then he just basically been with G2 ever since. It's just stripped him away and.
I actually
No.
I never been able to see Caps with Fnatic, like just through YouTube videos or like clips. So for me, in my mind, Caps has always been with G2. Like the Fnatic arc is like a bug
Ancient
in the
history.
system of my brain. Like I've never heard like opened LEC and I saw Fnatic Caps. So it was always G2 Caps. So when I see those clips, it's like you were on the wrong side of the of the rivalry, bro. Like
I just remember how like mad that off season was as well, where it kept like you kept seeing figures in the scene saying like there's some crazy move is gonna happen, like no, there's gonna be the most mad roster move anyone's ever seen, but no one leaking it, like no one's saying what it was for flipping ages. And by the I'm sure the way it went was like Fnatic didn't really know it was happening either. They knew that Perks wasn't leaving G2, but they knew for some reason Caps wasn't staying with Fnatic, and they were like confused what was happening. And then obviously, yeah, that led to him joining G2 with the famous 2019 Super Team, Perks going to ADC, and no surprise that a couple more of our clips are from that year. It only makes sense. Let's dive into the next one. This one was from you, Davide. His pentakill on Akali against T1 at MSI. And really, this let's be real, this was like the MSI final basically that year. Obviously, the final against TL, which we got another clip from, was clearly the easier match for them. And here we go. I'm not sure, it might have been, would it have been like his first, probably his first pentakill on a international tournament as well.
I'm not really sure, I feel like he got it somewhere else. But yeah, actually, I think this is when like Pali was just reworked or recently reworked. I think it was like super busted champion. I'm not sure if they had already like fixed some of like the stuff that she had, because for those who probably weren't here, like Akali's rework had the ability to basically dive the enemy champion by using the W, and when she was in her shroud, she couldn't get hit by the turret. And that was like one of the most broken shit I've ever seen. And I'm so glad they removed it, because honestly, that was like a game-breaking mechanic.
Yeah, I remember as
right
well. I remember that like sometime right after the rework. I remember Bjergsen played it in LCS, and he got like a 13 kill match or something, and it was like the first time he'd gotten anywhere near that many kills since like he was like a child and had first joined TSM and was like like walking through every mid laner at the time. And obviously that was like deep into his career. Yeah, it was pretty busted.
Busted.
Should we do another one? So this next one is from then the final against TL. And just the game state of this is so funny. At this point, it's 2-0 G2 already. Obviously, we all know this ended up being the quickest international best of 5 of all time. TL were like totally mental boomed. I don't know if this wasn't the game where G2 was funneling. I think that was like one of the earlier ones. But at this point, they're still early on in the game. TL are trying to claw it back, and Caps is pushed up mid lane, and they're thinking, all right, we can get a gank on him. He's pushed far too up. It's this is an easy start to a comeback. And yeah, just having absolutely none of it. I feel like we don't see like I wish I miss seeing so much Aurelia.
yeah, I agree.
Like seeing like a top level Aurelia player was so good. And back then everyone was playing it. And also the kind of the madder part about this is that he's killed all the minions before it even kicks off, so he can't even do any like the dashing around madness to the extent that usually you could on a crazy Aurelia play.
Yeah, this was just.
Honestly, I don't want to be a jerk, but like, it's like the play itself is mid, but like in current times, like most of the Aurelia mains would be able to kind of do display. But at the time, you gotta consider it. I think like Aurelia just got reworked, and probably people who have played like have an idea of how it was back in the day. Like it was completely different. So like people weren't really used to like they were used to the Q mechanic, but they weren't really used to the entire combos and how fast you can be. And so the fact that like Caps, who probably trained her a little bit but wasn't like super main on it honestly as well, he just happened to pull this off, literally basically hitting everything he had to hit. So I think it was very, very impressive play. Obviously being a final, MSI final, that gave a lot of, weight to it. And yeah, I think it's kind of weird that we don't really, like, as much as I think there aren't like many of the recent like Caps plays that come off to the top of my head. These are like more of the old day ones. And
I think it maybe goes to like him having phases of his career where now he kind of is like a lot more solid. He's not necessarily the one that's going to be making crazy plays, but like he's gonna, he's not going to lose a lane. He's going to roam around, like he's doing like his Faker back end arc.
Yeah, I
I
just
mean,
remember his LeBlanc being very, very good at some points. But then yeah, we probably have to talk about the skins and after, and I think that we will open up a big debate around that.
Yeah. Let's do one more clip before we get into that. So we've got another one, not from 2019, which is nice. We've got one from 2020, when, and obviously this year is kind of flies under the radar in terms of like the legacy of this roster, because obviously 2019 was so good. 2020 weren't bad. Like for an EU team, this is like an all-timer season as well. Just the fact that they were still competing internationally the whole year. There was still an absolute menace for LCK teams most of the year as well. And then you had this match against Gen.G where, and actually I noticed this one starts with a replay, but it kind of dives into the bigger play later. But just being an absolute demon on Sylas, and it's so many moments where it's like, okay, there's surely not an angle for him to re-engage here, and then he re-engages, backs out, and then just knows just has like the intuition to find the perfect moments. So here it doesn't look like there's a huge amount on, but yeah, it's Caps is diving in, basically no health, survives the whole time, dives back in, keeps regenning, and it was just disgusting. That was your one.
Yeah, I
Luca.
feel like Cap says so many Sylas plays.
yeah.
Like there is no wonder that like last year during the Worlds 2025 music video, they decided to like picture him as Sylas, because I think it says in the recent modern era of league or like of Cap's career, I think that's kind of like his most iconic one. I think back in the day for me it was like LeBlanc plus some other mages here and there. But right now I think like Sylas was like in the last couple of years like the highlight for me. Like every time he had Sylas, he would be able to do some spicy stuff and make stuff happen basically.
And it's also the fact that back in the days, like Sylas was literally one-shotting. Now you don't see a Sylas doing that much damage. It's just, like a skirmisher mage, and he's just there tanking and doing damage. But like now you see those clips and you see a W doing like 1k damage, and it's so satisfying to see. I loved that version of the champion, to be honest. I don't like this one.
Fair enough.
And I don't enjoy it.
Shall we talk about the skins? So there have been, even before the announcement of, before it's been officially announced for Caps to be in the Hall of Legends, there was some leaks of, basically what happened, if I'm right, is that it was the next Hall of Legends skins were leaked, and then everyone immediately jumped that it has to be for Caps. And the main skin is pretty controversial. So his main skin is on Tristana, which, as I look at his stats, is his 10th most played champion of his career, which actually was maybe even higher than I expected. But clearly not. It's not exactly what he's like known for, is it?
Are we sure it's Tristana, by the way?
I don't know. Are we not?
I mean, as a heads, not I mean, like it's we're recording right now before it's fully announced, so just a preface. I have generally the feeling that that's just like a bait. As I would be very surprised if Tristana gets chosen. I still think that among the two champions, if they don't put Sylas, they're literally inting. Like Riot is literally inting.
Sylas is
But I just
rumored to be
wonder.
the second one, right?
Yeah, but I still think that I heard back in the days, like from Chinese social media rumors, that there was another champion that was getting chosen for the the Hollow Legend skins, and supposed to be Yasuo. It would also make sense if it's Yasuo. Not really from like a legacy perspective, but more from a like a economical perspective, I guess, like from a money perspective. And I guess like if the Tristana is there on the PBE map, it's just because you want to basically, uh, kind of like celebrate his legacy. And the Tristana pick is actually, I think for me, Tristana makes sense to have it there because for two reasons. First, like like Caps has always been known for being a really good Tristana player. Second thing, it's to kind of like celebrate his short stint as an ADC back when he was on G2 swapping with perks. So I think it's like literally the only champion that you could play across both roles, and it made sense back in the day.
Yeah, I saw that mentioned as well. Obviously, he was an ADC technically. For me, the stint was too short for it to have much impact on this. Like 6 months out of like a 10-year career, is a I for me wasn't enough. But it is just we'll always say it, but it is a shame that like economics has to be a part of the discussions because it is like mainly a marketing exercise. But to be fair, if Caps is getting to choose and he's getting a nice chunk of the profit as well, then maybe he, that might encourage him to choose one he thinks is going to sell well too.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I genuinely think like the Yasuo skin would sell better.
Yeah,
because maybe we're not talking about it here, like in
as like
the
general
Western
players,
side,
I'm sure Yasuo sells more.
Yeah, but
skins
like
than
general
Trist.
player with is who wouldn't want a Yasuo skin? Like used to be a Yasuo main, and I would buy that shit. Would I buy a Tristana skin? I'm not really sure. Especially if it's going to be the Transcendent one, that's going to be like, how much is it? Like 500? Was it like 500 last year? Not
Yeah,
on Fakers, it was
500
like
euros.
$500. Yeah, like
But
I
let's be
doubt
honest,
people would buy that shit.
no one is going to buy that skin. Like, how many people are gonna buy a 500 euro skin? Like,
The whales. Anyway,
Chinese.
his most played
Chinese,
champs,
like,
if like the champs he's played in order of least to most, the champs he's played more games with Tristana. Next, 9th place is Sylas, and then Corki. Corki could have been mid lane and ADC, but there you
True.
go. Ari, Talia, Ryze, Syndra, Azir, Oriana, LeBlanc.
Yeah, that's the issue. Like, I was talking about LeBlanc being like Cap's one of most iconic, but the issue is that you literally had the LeBlanc skins being sold like 2 years ago with um with Faker. And then the issue with the, like we were talking about the Vayne pick that's kind of iconic from Caps. That was in Uzi's collection last year.
Yeah,
So
and that
you're
was
left
actually
with
only one of 2 Vayne games he's ever played as well. So
Yeah.
that
And no,
probably
of
takes into
course,
account.
yeah, it makes sense to not go for it, but still, like in terms of like value, that would also kind of make sense. And then you're left with a couple of champions that don't really resonate with Caps as much as I think. Like literally the only one that I would choose for sure is Sylas, so I guess Sylas will be there. I'm just wondering like whether the second skin actually will be Tristana, as people have hinted, because I wouldn't be surprised if Riot just had the Tristana on the map, but then would choose another champion to be part of it.
Let's do a game of you two against each other.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give you each 5 chances to try and think of a champ that Caps has only played 1 time. There is a lot of champs he's only ever played once.
In pro.
There's
bro.
like 15, 16 champs he's played once in his career. In any level, I guess, because I'm on Leaguepedia and it's combining everything. And also, what's quite nice, he's
Okay.
played exactly 1,000 matches in his career before he gets his Legends.
Oh, so if you include the weekend ones,
The what?
Ezreal?
because if you like, this is that 1000s he plays against Fnatic this Sunday or?
It will be his
It's already-
1001st game of his career against Fnatic.
Okay. Oh, that's a good start, honestly. Good shout out.
Go on,
Oof.
Davide, you go first.
Why do I have go first? I'm still thinking about the champion.
And hands off keyboard, so I don't want anyone cheating.
Oh no, okay. I'm like this. Off the top of my head, I would say Zach, just because I feel like he has played it.
Yep.
Oh, nice. I have a bland memory of him playing Zach Sunday, like being a super like weird flex pick in a meta where like Zach was, I think, was semi-popular.
He played it in LEC Winter 2023 against Astralis.
Okay, nice.
No way.
Luca. Who has Caps played once? Did you say? Ezreal?
Ezreal.
He's played Ezreal 8 times. Unlucky, man.
He played ADC, man. You can't really put an ADC.
Yeah, but I didn't remember like him picking. I remember him playing Aphelios and Kog'Maw many games, but I didn't remember him playing Ezreal.
Go on, Davide. Give us another one.
Shit. That was a good to mean. Senna?
Senna. He's played Senna 5 times.
Yeah, okay. I guess it was more than once.
Go on, Luca. I'll give you a clue, Luca. There's a new champ in there that he's only played once.
Lock.
I'll give you a freebie. That's one of 4 champs that he's got a 0% win rate on. Actually, no, sorry.
I must say
7 champs, because there's a few that he played twice that he lost both times.
I must say Nocturne. 2 or 3.
2 games on Nocturne.
Ah, shit.
Go,
I
Luca.
knew it.
I have no idea. Like, it's so hard. Graves.
He's never played Graves. So you're close. You're off by 1.
I remember there was a meta with Graves mid.
Yeah.
Renekton.
2 goes each. Renekton. Good shout. He's played it 4 times.
What? Okay.
Go on, Luca.
Oh,
Quick,
shit.
2 more. 2 for Luca, 1 left for Davide.
2 below, like.
There are a couple of ADCs. There's a few ADCs that he played once. Actually, ADC's not a bad one because he was there for so short.
Caitlyn.
Never played Caitlyn.
Uh,
Last go, Davide.
Raven.
Raven has been played 1 time.
Yes, let's go.
He played it in LEC Summer 2019. While he was mid lane, he played it. He played it against XL, who I don't remember who their mid laner would have been at the time. But they
Was
played.
that against Casual?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been.
It was like the last
Was it
content
okay?
game, I think. They were already first and they picked random champions.
Yeah,
if I remember
their
well.
comp was Quinn, Sylas. I don't
Yeah.
remember Sylas jungle being a thing that long ago. Maybe I'm misremembering, but it was Quinn, Sylas, Draven, and their bot lane was Rakan, Gragas, and they and they beat XL. Caps got 14 kills with Draven into Lee Sin mid from XL. So there you go. Luca, you've got 1 more try.
Seer.
Who? Oh, Sion.
Seer.
Who's? I don't know who you're saying.
Seer.
Oh, Sivir. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Sivir has been played by Caps 0 times. Davide wins. Unlucky.
Yay.
Right, the champs he played once: Diana, Raven, Gangplank, Callista, Kayn, Kled, Mel, Sion, Talon, Urgot, Zaya, Zac, Katarina, Locke, Rumble, and Viego. That's all the champs he played 1 time. And the champs he's
How
never...
is Mel only once? What?
and that one was MSI against top esports. The champs he's never won a
Caps
game.
must-
The champs that he's played and never
Yeah.
won is Katarina, Locke, Rumble, and Viego, of the ones he played only once. And also, there's a few champs he played twice and lost both times, which are Fizz, Zed, and Derry. In total, he's played, where did I see it? 80 different champs across his career. Which ain't bad, eh?
Not
Yeah,
too
1,000
shabby.
games.
Not too shabby.
1,000 games, 645 wins. So 65% win rate. He's gotten 4,171 kills, 2,614 deaths, 5,901 assists, and his CS across his career, 283,840 CS, in case anyone was wondering. But again, so far, because he's still in his career, so let's quickly have that discussion. What do we think of the timing? Because I still think it's weird. I wasn't a huge fan of even Faker getting it because he's still in his career, and especially because they make such a big event of it, and there's like, in-client stuff about their career, about their story. That makes it even weirder to have it while they're still playing. I get for some reasons why, especially with Faker, because he is the best player of all time. So it makes sense you can make the exception. Also, I get, again, frustratingly, that they want to make as much money as possible from it. So you do the players that you're going to get more money while they're relevant players. Otherwise, if they've retired, maybe the interest is faded a bit. It's not as worth. So all that in mind, does it make sense that it's Caps now getting it as a third player?
Like, in my opinion, it does make sense, but it's not very fair and right because we are getting already 2 players that are still active, and there are a lot of OG players that didn't get the recognition, and who knows when they will get it actually, because we
They
are
never
getting
will.
one person per year only, and I don't know how many even players we have that should deserve an Hall of Legends skin and be part of it, but there are definitely a lot of players, and if the rhythm is this, like they will get it in 10 years, and we don't know what will happen in 10 years, like some players. So like, and they will be even less relevant probably because like new generations won't remember them that well like we remember them. So like you're kinda, excluding them from the recognition in this way. And it's not the best thing to do, obviously, in terms of marketing. Getting Caps instead of, I don't know, Mata is probably better, or Wolf is probably better. I don't know how Korean fans. I don't know,
I
like
mean,
how T1 fans are.
no, I have nothing against T1, but like the one thing that people seem to forget is like for me the most important thing when it comes to Hollow Legends is how important this person was in shaping up the LoL esports community and the LoL esports fandom over basically throughout his career or after it. And when it comes to this, and it comes to the West, I know like Riot said that there's no regional rotation, but you also gotta consider that like the choices, as far as I know, are Riot chooses 20 players that can be inducted, and then 50 people vote for it. So this is why I've been I've been very advocate and just like hoping that Riot eventually pushes out and makes this voting transparent, because I think it would make sense, like maybe like Caps barely won and we don't even know that. Like maybe like he got like 30 votes out of the 50, and then maybe like 20 other people were thinking maybe like someone else would deserve it, and we can also talk about like which names would probably go after it. But I just want to have that as being like a transparent thing, because I think it would also spark up a lot of the discussion and kind of also keep the Hollow Legends thing more active and like more engaged throughout up until like basically when the event is over. For me, it's like I said before, when it comes to contributing, like how much people look up to a specific player or a specific region, like Caps is literally for me the Western Faker in that sense. So even though he's still playing, the amount of influence that he has had over the past 8 years, 9 years, I think is remarkable, and it should be something that we should celebrate. And at this point, I honestly don't really think about whether they're active or not anymore. For me, it's just like, how influential have they been in the community, or like in the LoL esports scene. And like, think about it, like, if you have a Caps, or if you don't have him in a team, the hopes of saying like this team will do well, or like will perform at an international level, is way higher than any other player. Even though you could argue that like Caps is not even the best player, like the best mid laner in the region anymore on an individual level, you still know that he comes with so much value outside of it, that regardless of how he is, any team he plays on, I mean, he's been playing with G2, but like, and in this case, like, you know that every time we go to international, like G2 has a chance to take down the Kings, or like the Eastern teams. So for me, that's kind of like the thing that makes me say it's okay. Obviously, I feel like there are other names that you could involve, you know, but for me, like, there's also a chance that in the future, like next year, we might get someone from LCS, for example, because like we got someone from China, from Korea, someone from EU. Why wouldn't it make sense to have someone from NA, right? But then, like, in that sense, we can also open up like who potentially could be next, right? I have a couple of names. It's something that I've been thinking about over the past few days. I have like literally have like 3-4 names that could go in, all for different reasons. So it comes down to, what do you value most? Because, for example, when it comes to NA, for me, it's just 2 names. Regardless of what you guys might think, for me, it's either Bjergsen or Doublelift. For whatever they like, Doublelift for more like his longevity within the scene, and obviously the titles, because he won a lot. Like he won a lot of them. But for me, the best player throughout his career, like in NA, in terms of how much he has contributed, for me it was Bjergsen. But then if you put Bjergsen in, it would be kind of weird, because you're basically getting another EU player who, yes, represented NA for most of his career, but it's another mid laner, and you know, it's basically 3 mid laners in 4 years. So that would be weird. Doublelift will also be weird, because it would be the second ADC, you know. So then, in my logic, you're like, okay, we might probably have to like induct someone else from another role, which then leaves up top jungle and support. And then you're like, okay, who's the support god? We can I think everyone will be probably like, yes, there is only one name, and it's going to be Keria. You could argue, or at least I used to up until last year, argue that Beryl would probably make it in there for what he has been able to do, which is winning 2 world championships on 2 different teams. But then his lows were very low, you know. Like, Keria has been consistently at the top of the level since he joined competitive play. Obviously, won 3 world championships, probably could win more, basically being the top support, the best support over the past 5 years. But then, if you get Keria in, people would then argue the fact that he's still active, you know, and he's also a tier 1 player. Then, if you look at the top lane, for me, it's still between a tier 1 player and the Shy. Because it's literally like former T1 player. I mean, like, it's between Zeus and the Shy for me at the current moment as things stand. Zeus, for a similar reason as Keria, probably one of the best and most consistent top laners in the past 5-6 years. I think 5 years, because I think he started in 2021. And then just, you know, like at the top level for so long, like for that long period of time. And then potentially, if he gets an HLE World Championship, I think it would make sense to have him as an inductee, potential inductee, because he won 4 World Championships, 3 World Championships, sorry, oh shit. But then it would be with 2 different organizations. The Shy, on the other hand, is also still active, you know. He's just came back to IG, But then in turn, like when it comes to the criteria I was telling you before, how much he contributed to the growth and like the in shaping up the modern era of League of Legends, I think is the Shy for me is the next one, because he literally fostered an entire generation of top laners where they learn to play and play like a carry and bring up that aggressiveness inside the lane that was considered, oh, you just gotta perma play weak side or like play weak side for the majority of it. Like if you think about most of the current top laners, like even Bin or someone like Zeus, like that aggressiveness that they have, like one of the first ones to implement it was the Shy back in the day in pro play. So for me, it would kind of make sense to have him as well, but he's still playing, you know. So you're like, okay, who should we put next? And then in the jungle, like for me, the jungle actually there's a name that is not playing that could fit the mark, but then it would be kind of weird for me to put Bengi in as first jungler because he won 3 world championships back in the day. He was part of the first SKT T1 era. So it would be, a good shout. But is he really the GOAT jungler? As in, like, the GOAT jungler? I'm not really sure. Like,
And those were in the days
I
when the
think
jungle was like just a award machine. Well, like a lot
yeah.
of the time.
So, like for me, it's like it would make sense if you pick like a GOAT from each role, and then or a GOAT from each region. Like the most influential player that you've had, in that region throughout the past 15 16 years, whatever that may be, and you start with that and then you go down. And like I said, like Luca was saying, like I feel like, yes, I think we've gotten to the point where if it's only one per year, as much as that makes it more exclusive, I think it's also kind of weird to like we won't know, like every year there will be the discussion where someone will not be happy that someone got inducted first before someone else's.
Also, there's each year there's probably more than one player that does enough to like put themselves in the Hall of Fame category. Like there's one a year is
Like,
never ever
honestly,
going to be enough.
like honestly, like everyone from T1, from like the 2020, like from
Yeah.
ZFGK, everyone should be there. Like
Yeah.
literally everyone deserves to be there. Even Zeus, who didn't play, like who didn't get his three-peat, he should be considered potential Hall of Fame legend, like Hall of Legend status, just because of the sheer amount of, not like dominance, but just consistently like proven throughout his career. Like how which other top laner, especially if you compare it back to the SKT T1 days, like Faker was there for the three-peat, but the top laner always changed. Zeus was one of the few that actually already won 2, and I think there aren't other top laners who won 2, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just thinking of the top of my head. I don't think there is one. So, that's also like GOAT top laner status for me. So yeah, it's I think it was Molecule or someone else saying that there, or maybe a Nightmare, I forgot. There should be like a class of
Molecule.
a Molecule. There should be like each year we turn into a class where we induct 5 players, and you could choose like retired ones or someone who is about to end his career, and stuff like this, and then just have one name that stands out as the Hall of Legends. And then at that point, it would make sense for me to have, I don't know, either the GOAT from each region or the GOAT from other roles that haven't been explored so far. But then, like, this is also why I want the vote to be transparent, because then when you look at the votes each year, then it would be very interesting to see how the voting dynamic changes over time.
I guess they would want to like
because
not give it away who would be the next one either, because if you see a second place, imagine it's like Caps gets 51% of the vote and someone else gets 49%, then and all the rest of the players 0%, then you know that second place is just definitely the one next. But I agree, they definitely have to just start doing it in bulk. Like every traditional sports Hall of Fame does that. Like each year, you do an inductee of however many players you think deserve it. It doesn't even have to be. It could be more than 5, especially at the start. For a couple of years, they could easily be doing like 10 players a year to kind of get through the backlog and get us up to the present day, and then make it, and then settle a bit. And yeah, they don't always all need a massive skin. They can maybe do I don't know, even chromas or something, or just like give them something a bit more minimal that the players can still benefit financially from it as well. And cause otherwise, like because that's the thing you're saying, like Bjergsen and Doublelift are definitely the ones for NA. Bjergsen's been inactive for a long time. NA doesn't have like.
I mean, they retired both of them back in 2023 on 100 Thieves. Like you could argue that Doublelift played a little bit more with near airport, but that was T2.
And he's like just generally more active still, or like streaming and stuff. Like he's more relevant to the current viewer base. Whereas since Bjergsen stopped playing, pretty much non-existent online profile, and there's not as many people interested in the LCS anymore. So if you suddenly drop a Bjergsen skin, like would it definitely sell as much as a as a Doublelift one? Let's say that it's a toss-up between the two of them. Doublelift easily wins on like relevance and probably economic impact, which definitely is going to play a part in it. So it is a bit of a shame. They just need to do it in bulk, or even just be more creative with it. Like, could Doublelift Bjergsen go in together and like each have one skin and celebrate the crossover of their careers and the crossover of them as rivals as well at other times, and do something like that, and like do that maybe like the T1 roster gets in all together. Yeah, some way there's got to be to speed it up without doing one a year. Anyway, we should wrap up because I've got to go. But yes, nice chatting to you guys. Congratulations again, Caps. Still, again, no matter what the debate is about timing, definitely is deserved that he's there. So yeah, which of you guys is buying the 500 quid skin then?
No one.
We've got to do a lot of podcasts to afford that.
Yeah, no, like come on, like it's too much.
Yeah, I probably.
By the way, if anyone disagrees with Caps being inducted, comment. I'll fight, because I think there are like so many levels of like points of discussion you can open up. Or even if you think, if you disagree with what I said about like who potentially should be next, let us know, because I'm down to debating.
For sure. Nice one.
I could think about the Sylas one if it's here, to be honest. If they get the Sylas one a second one, it could be about double in my opinion.
Well, we'll look forward to it, seeing who it is. I say we'll look forward to it because we technically don't know, but when this is revealed and when this is live, everyone will know, so we're going to look like idiots. But let's see. Maybe it is Tristana and Sylas. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So thanks, as always, for watching and listening, everybody. And thanks, Davide and Luca, for joining me. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
See you.